Are you living by faith? Are you living by your good works? Are you living by your own understanding? Are you living by your own wisdom? How are you living? The Bible says that the just shall live by faith. And in another verse, it says, do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he reap. For he who soweth to the flesh shall reap from the flesh corruption. But he who soweth in the Spirit shall reap everlasting life. You know, there is 5 laws in the Bible about reaping and sowing. And I want you to ask yourself, where are you reaping? In most people's lives, they go to university to study, right? They go, if you want to become a doctor, you spend 5 years in university studying. What do you reap? A career. If you want to become a professor, you go and study. What do you reap? A career in your professorship. I ask you to think what you're sowing into. Let me tell you, recently they discovered a tomb in Egypt. And in this tomb there were some seeds. And people took out these seeds and planted them. And the seeds sprouted up and grown. There was a seed that was lying dormant for 2,000 years. But someone planted those seeds and some fruit came out of it. The way you live in your life is what you're sowing. The way you live in your life is what you're sowing. You know, a lot of us look at footballers or musicians, and some of the brilliant footballers, if you really look into their lives, they've practiced, they've taken time, they've sown into their skill. If you look at the best singers out there, maybe Michael Jackson, maybe Rihanna, maybe one of the other famous or actors, you will find that they've sown, but they've reaped something in their career. What are you sowing into? What are you sowing into? Look at your life. What are you sowing into? I know it's an evening. A lot of people are walking, going to clubs. Are you sowing to the flesh? Some people sow into wrong relationship. Where has that taken you? Remember, what you sow is what you reap. And today I'm here to kind of teach you how to sow into the things of God. You know, in the Bible, it says this, break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek the Lord, that he might come and rain righteousness upon you. You know what? If you want, what is raining in your life at the moment? What are you putting in? What are you getting out? I want you to really, really think about this question that I'm asking. Where I grew up, once upon a time, there was a farmer who went out. I'm from Kenya. I grew up in Kenya. And if anyone has been in Kenya or knows about Kenya, it's kind of a beautiful land with many different animals. But this one farmer one day went out, and when he was out looking after his sheep, he picked up a lion, a small lion cub. And you know what? When he brought this lion cub back to the village, people kind of said to him, this is a dangerous thing, you can't have it. But at that moment, the lion looked so innocent. He cried, and everybody was just okay. But what started to happen is, one day, he fed the lion one rat, and then the following day, the lion started to grow, and the appetite for the lion grew and grew, until one day, all the animals that he had, all his cattle, was fed to this lion. And then one time he didn't have anything else to feed this lion. Guess what? The lion pounced on this farmer. But think about it. You know the habits that we have. Some people have habits that start so innocently. You know, you might start with one drink, you might start with one line of cocaine, you might start with one cigarette, but what happens to you? Does it grow and take over you? I want you to ask, what are you sowing? What are you sowing? People of Leicester Square, what are you sowing? Are you sowing righteousness? Are you sowing to the flesh? If you're sowing in drinking, guess what? The Bible says that you'll reap corruption. If you're sowing to the flesh by engaging in all sorts of sexual, immoral relationship, guess what? You'll sow to death. Consider what you're sowing into. The thing is, whatever you sow, you will reap. Whatever you sow, you will reap. And I want you to think, what are you sowing? What are you sowing? Are you sowing into life? Are you sowing into death? You know, I used to be a smoker myself. But one of the things that I know, the day I accepted Jesus, he delivered me from it. And I know if you look at advertisement or what they say, people who have been smoking for years and years and years, what do they reap? Cancer. Do you understand? So in life, what you sow is what you reap. I want you to consider carefully, what are you sowing into? Are you sowing into lies? Are you sowing into cheating people? Are you sowing into things that do not give you health but kill your soul? Ask yourself, what are you sowing into? People of Leicester Square, know this: whatsoever a man sows into, that shall he reap. Right now, I want to invite one of my brothers to come here and also share a message regarding what God has placed in their heart. Thank you.